Hey everybody, it's Tamara from My Amazing Maid, bringing to you some information that we really feel might help you or will help you in your home. There's some things that we've learned about sanitation, disinfection, that we believe that you could really use, and we wanted to make sure you received it. So whether we're cleaning your house now or not, I think that you will find this information extremely valuable on how you should be disinfecting your home. So the first thing is that we have been doing training for our staff for at least 3 weeks. As soon as we got wind that this was coming down, we started looking at everything, and because we knew things were going to change rapidly. Right now, there's no formal training currently for our workforce on this topic, and so I used to be the director of training for an academy and have done instructional systems design for a long time. So I took it upon myself to start writing training for our staff. I think I think it's pretty good. And every time we find new information, we are changing our procedures, and it's designed to keep you safe and to keep our employees safe. So the procedures that we're implementing are all informed by our professional association, health professionals, scientific information, anything we can get our hands on. We believe that we are on the front lines protecting you, making sure your home is safe, and we are protecting our employees because we have a lot of protocols in place for them. And we're continuing to update our procedures and practice. If we have anything that changes, we make sure that our staff immediately are aware of it and that they implement something new. So the purpose of this information that we're providing you is that we want you to know how we're training our staff and what we're doing, so that you understand all the precautions that we're taking and what we're disinfecting in your homes now. And then we want to make sure that you have information on procedures that you can use in your home that will benefit you in terms of safety. I am not going to prolong the whole issue of what the symptoms are. I'm sure you have been overwhelmed and kept keeping up with this as much as I have. It's fever, dry cough, tiredness, shortness of breath, and they've just added the loss of taste and smell. Now, this starts getting more imperative here, particularly for the work that we do, is that it's spread primarily from person to person, from respiratory droplets produced when an affected person coughs or sneezes, and it's spread from contact with contaminated surfaces or objects. Now, that is not thought to be the main way that it's spread, but it is a potential way. There are some indications that it could be airborne, but this is relatively really new and it hasn't been confirmed. But some physicians are just convinced that it could be airborne, which means it would hang in the air after a person has left that area. So things that we are doing, and things that you probably are thinking about doing or doing, I hope yourselves, is that one of the ways that we are training our staff and have been talking to them about this literally for 3 weeks is to distance themselves from others. There's been a lot of encouraging news out of Seattle in the past 3 or 4 days about how Seattle has really been able to reduce the number of cases as they're vigorously social distancing. And this means they're staying 6 to 8 feet away from individuals that you do not live with or work with. Your circle must be very small. I have a friend who owns a cleaning service out in Seattle, and she said that one of the things that they do at they've been doing for a while at stores is they only let 10 people in. They have the marks 6 feet away or 8 feet away that you can stand in line to get in. So they're very, very cautious. I know some businesses and retail in Columbus is doing that now as well. The second part is stepping away. If somebody starts to come close to you, you back up. So, this is kind of a very new thing for everybody, because I was at Sam's, which, by the way, if you're elderly like me, now between hours of 8 and 9 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you can go and you can read a list to them, and they'll have a personal shopper go get your stuff, bring it back, and then you can load it into the car, and then they can scan your phone. It's really easy. But when I started reading my list to this lady last week, she started walking towards me, and I started backing up, and she was like, "Oh, okay." And I said, "Do a lot of people let you get really close to them?" She's like, "Oh yeah, a lot of people don't, aren't paying much attention to that." Well, I am, I am super on top of that. I just really believe that that's a huge way to deal with, the prevention. And the thing about your social circles is that if you have somebody coming into your social circle, that means that them and everybody that they've interacted is in your social circle, because you really don't know who they've been with. And that can be very difficult. So social distancing is basically just the jam in terms of keeping you safe. Secondly, hand washing. It's, quote, hands down the best defense against the virus. It's cheap and it's effective. So train, show your kids how to wash their hands. Talk to them about the whole 20-second thing. And there's some great videos online about how to do it. You can do it the surgeon way, which actually just takes 20 seconds, whether you sing happy birthday or not, which is what I like. But the great news is soap interrupts the chemical bond that allows the virus to stick to surfaces. It also literally pries open the outer layer of the virus, breaking the virus apart, and then the soapy bubbles and water and everything sweep the dead virus and wash it away, pick it up and wash it away. It sounds a little gross, but it's, that's fantastic. It doesn't have to be fancy soap. It doesn't have to be antibacterial soap. It can be just any soap you've got. And that's a fantastic news, because it's a very simple way to prevent the spread and to protect yourself. So, wash your hands is the absolute most wonderful thing in the world. And it's important, because the thing we've learned about hand sanitizers is that hand sanitizers, first of all, have to be 60% alcohol. Not all of them are. When we started looking for hand sanitizers, this 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we were having difficulty finding it, but we were able to find some that is 50% alcohol. So you have to have the 60% alcohol in the hand sanitizer to kill this virus. Secondly, hand sanitizer does not work on dirty hands. Let me clarify that, or say that again, is that it does not work on dirty hands. I am guilty of thinking and using hand sanitizer in lieu of washing my hands, because I thought, well, use hand sanitizer, it's going to kill everything, you're going to be clean. But the research indicates that if you have dirt on your hands and oils on your hands, that it can act like a little umbrella for the COVID virus. And those things, like the dirt and the oils, will soak up the alcohol and actually protect the virus. So it's just, crazy how we depend on hand sanitizer and we think it's fantastic, but you literally have to wash your hands before you use hand sanitizers, or make sure that your hands are super clean and then apply hand sanitizer. So this is a little bit of information that I did not know, and I wanted to make sure that I shared it with you. Personal protective gear. We have issued things to our cleaners that are very important. Gloves and glasses. So the glasses are like eye shields to help them remember not to touch their eyes when they're in a home. Gloves are a fantastic barrier from the virus and germs. We make them wear them the whole time they're cleaning now, and they actually put them on in the car before they get out. They also wash their gloved hands for the 20 seconds and dry them on clean towels before they start the disinfection process in your home. So we're cleaning and then we're disinfecting, and so they have to make sure that their hands are nice and clean. We've also ordered masks. They should be here Friday, April 3rd. We will begin wearing them as soon as we receive them, hopefully by the Monday, because it's been difficult to get them, but we were able to get a lot of them, a couple hundred, and so we're excited. We're going to start wearing those every home we clean. We will have those on too. So there's a difference between cleaning, sanitizing, and disinfection. I wanted to share this kind of information with you because I think it's really important. Cleaning is really a good method of contributing to health. For example, you do your dusting and you do your vacuuming, and all of that lifts allergens from outside. It makes it better to live indoors, makes it more comfortable. Sanitizing is what we do when we clean, because we use chemicals or natural products that kill the number of bacteria present up to 99.9%. That's a great number. Usually and previously that has been fantastic in homes, and that's what we've been doing. But now, because of this virus, we need to do more. So the minimum effectiveness level in modern days, our situation, is disinfectant that is 100% kill of organisms, and that includes germs, virus, fungi, and bacteria. Now it says 100%. I'm pretty sure on the next slide it's like 99.996%, but that's a tremendous number. So a sanitizer reduces the number of organisms by 99.9%. That's 1,000 times reduction on any surface of those of bacteria. Of bacteria. Does nothing about virus and fungi. Anyway, so it's really important to understand that sanitizers are great, but you're not going to kill this virus with just sanitization. Disinfection, on the other hand, reduces the number of organisms by 99.996, or 100,000 times reduction of germs and bacteria, fungus, and virus. So look at that. Disinfection kills germs, bacteria, virus, and fungi. So disinfection works 100 times better than sanitizing, and it has more of a broad spectrum kill, so it kills a lot more things. Now, the big difference in those two, and I want to tell you something that's really interesting, is that you have to clean and sanitize before you disinfect. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. We're going to talk about it now. Similar to what I was sharing with you a minute ago about hand sanitizers, it's the same type of thing with dirt that might be on a surface and then you try to disinfect it. The same type of issue, you can have oils on doorknobs, you can have dirt on countertops, and if you start sanitizing those disinfecting them before you clean them, it won't be, I'm not going to say it won't be somewhat effective, but it won't be as effective. So what we're doing is we clean and sanitize first. So we're physically removing the dirt, organic matter, and most germs on the surface. However, we're not killing some of the harmful germs because, as I said, sanitization is only killing 99%, plus it doesn't kill fungus and virus. So we have to do something extra. So, but we do all the sanitization throughout the house, just like we've always done. Our professional cleaning cleans and sanitizes your home very effectively. What we've added is that we will do disinfection after we clean the home to make sure that the high-touch areas are taken care of for you in your home. The high-touch areas that have been included, according to our association, and it's been expanded a little bit: doorknobs, light switches, armrests, banisters, bathroom faucets and toilet handles, remote controls, kitchen faucets, refrigerator and oven handles, microwave door handles, and touchpad. So all of those things are going to be areas of your home that we are going to disinfect after we clean and sanitize the house. The thing I didn't know about disinfection is that your little viruses have to take a little bath in disinfection, swim around a little bit before they are killed by a disinfectant. So it can vary between 5 to 10 minutes depending on the solution you are using. Our 4% hydrogen peroxide disinfectant takes about 5 minutes, 3 to 5 they say, and it kills germs, bacteria, fungus, and virus. You must read or look up online the product you are using to see how long you need to leave it down. So we have a couple of choices, and we're using both of these methods in your home. First of all, we can spray the surface directly and leave it wet. When we can do that, that's what we're doing. So for example, you might come home and notice that your sink is wet. If you came home pretty soon after we get finished, because usually we all dry the sinks and shine them up and the faucets and everything. But now we're spraying those down and just leaving the disinfectant on it so it'll dry, and as it dries, it's going to be killing the virus. The second option you have is to spray a cloth and use it. Now, when you're doing this part, you have to be very careful. You have to spray your rag until it's saturated, and then you wipe down the areas and leave them wet that you're trying to disinfect. So, for example, we take our microfiber cloths, which are extremely great for this type of work, and we fold them twice. We fold them once and then fold them again. So we end up having like 8 sides that we can use when we're disinfecting. And we only use one side per disinfection area. For example, if we have a really nice saturated cloth, we will wipe down a light switch, then we're going to switch sides. Because if we don't, we're taking the fungus or bacteria and everything that's on that light switch that we have picked up on that cloth. We go to the next thing, say it's a doorknob, and we're just reapplying it to another surface. So that's not what we're trying to accomplish. So what we're doing is we disinfect the light switch, we fold our cloth, refold it, we go and disinfect a doorknob, we refold our cloth, we disinfect another doorknob, we refold our cloth, we disinfect another light switch. So if we're doing in the kitchen, we would disinfect, probably spray down the faucets and sinks. But then when we went to do the refrigerator handles, we would spray a cloth and get that done and wipe the refrigerator handle down one side and then turn it and do the other side and then refold it and do the microwave handle, then refold it and do the touchpad. I mean, it's that much change that you have to do. So you only wipe one time with each side of your cloth. Otherwise, you're going to put virus back down on another surface. Remote controls. Remote controls are kind of tricky because we don't want to fry your remote controls. So the method that has been suggested by our association is, a way to disinfect, but not to get the remotes, not to fry them up. And it's important because remote controls are probably one of the most heavily used items in a home. So the first thing we do is we have our nice, damp, drippy, like really thoroughly wet folded towel. We turn the remote upside down. We wipe down the back of the remote. And without flipping it over, we blot the bottom side with the buttons. The idea is that the buttons are face down. So, when we blot them, that the liquid won't slide into between the buttons. I have told our staff that if, we're putting the remote back down to dry on, say, wood or whatever, to put a paper towel under it so it can dry, or put something under it so it won't damage any of your furniture. That's what we're doing. The other recommendations that have come out of CDC as well as our association are things that we have already been doing for the whole 7 years we've been open. Color coding cloths for each room to avoid cross-contamination. We use orange in bathrooms, blues and greens to dust, and we use yellows, browns, and blacks in kitchens. Launder clothes in laundry detergent and add a germ killer. We started doing this 3.5 weeks ago. Wipe down and disinfect hard tools such as vacuums, mop sticks, scrap brushes between cleanings at the end of the day. Now, we were doing this after this whole thing started. We were doing it at the end of the day, and we were making sure that we disinfected everything. But now we're doing it between every single home, every single cleaning. So when they get done with all their equipment, they take it outside, they spray everything down that they can, they wipe everything down that they can't spray, they put it in the trunk and they leave it wet as much as they, wet, and then it's drying so we know it's being disinfected. A couple of things that I thought were pretty innovative for us is that we actually had some dusters that we had not been using that have removable microfiber covers. We had started using lamb's wool dusters because they're fantastic. They have a lot of static in them. They pick dust up really nicely. But we have taken away all the lamb's wool dusters and we have gone to using only the ones with removable covers. And every one of those with the team has enough covers that they only use one cover per house. And then they take that cover off and they put a clean one on for the next home. So we are not using dusters over and over in people's houses. We use one per house. Similarly, we do not reuse magic erasers or grout brushes. So when we use a magic eraser in a home, and we do, kind of break them down into halves or quarters, but when we use one, we throw it away. Grout brushes, we use one, whatever we use in one house, we do not use in anybody else's house. We completely put them in disinfectant and do not use them again. And then when we get back to our office, we clean them again and put them back in disinfectant for the next day. So the bottom line is wash your hands with warm soapy water. It is absolutely critical. Do not skip it. It is kind of the foundation of protecting yourself. Take nice hot showers. Well, I'm gonna talk, yeah. So the next thing is, we recommend that if you're working out of the house, when you come home, that you take your clothes off, and then take a nice, warm, soapy shower. This is what our employees are practicing so that they're not taking anything back into their home. Get plenty of rest each night, drink plenty of fluids during the day, eat on a regular schedule, exercise. I used to teach stress management, and this is one of the most obnoxious things that you get told when you're teaching stress management to people, and they look at you like, yeah, right, okay. Because you want this to be easier than it is. You really do. I want it to be easier than it is. But I know for a fact that if you take care of your body, then you're going to be much more resilient to anything that comes along. So take good care of your body and take good care of yourself. Finally, if you have any illness whatsoever, any symptoms, please call us. We will not send somebody who's sick or has symptoms to your house. And similarly, please let us know if you're having any issues so we can make sure that we're not going to your home and we're protecting our employees. This slide serves no useful purpose. I love the way I look in this. I look resilient and like a ninja, and I can attack anything. I just like that. Although I will say that my little Bitmoji has looked a lot like a vampire in this presentation, and I cannot figure why, but it does. I have a nice pink tone on my phone, but this one, she's really looking a little pale. So finally, I want to end on this, that on particularly rough days, I like to remind myself that my track record for getting through bad days has been 100% so far, and that's pretty good. These are very difficult days. They are hard, every one of them. They're hard for me. I know they're hard for you. I know that it is easy to fall into traps to cope with things that are not healthy. I know that from personal experience. And, I really hope that you're taking care of yourself and that you realize that these bad days are going to end. And we don't know when, but it's going to end. And that things are going to get better and we're all going to be okay for the most part. And we're going to pray for everybody that is dealing with this illness. So take care of yourself. I wish you peace and health. And as soon as if I get any more information, I will send it to you. Thank you.